What's up, everyone? I'm DJ Hamilton, and you're tuned into the DJ Sports Show, where we give you the latest, greatest, and most exciting sports stories in the world of sports, from interviews to having people's stories heard and told. This is the DJ Sports Show. Let's get it! Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, and welcome to DJ Sports, a place where we discuss sports, share bold opinions, and untold stories that make a difference. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe button, and share anybody you know who loves sports. And if you're listening on audio platforms, leave a 5-star rating, share anybody you know. We're recording this just minutes before Game 4 of the Celtics-Sixers game here on Sunday afternoon, April 26th. And I'm joined here by my guy, Philip Wilson, to discuss some NBA. Phil, how you doing, man?
Doing great, bro. It's been some good games on, or not good games, but I guess been some fun games to watch. Looking forward to more basketball tonight, bro.
Oh yeah, and these gonna be playing tonight, so we just
I
gotta
know.
be
I just saw
worried.
the headline, man. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
good. I'm glad he's
yeah.
back.
So that should be a interesting storyline to follow. We'll see how he does in that game. I really think they're playing him because luckily they were able to get that first game in the game two. In game two, one of those games in Boston, thanks to Maxey and Edgecombe going off in that game. Edgecombe, by the way, he's been
That
really
boy's
good
a star.
throughout this postseason. I know he didn't have a great game 3 performance, but in game 2, he was the first rookie since Tim Duncan to have 30 points and 10 rebounds in a playoff game. Come on, man. That's that's saying a lot.
He's special, bro.
That's rare. That's rare. And I guess we can go right to the Celtics Sixers series since we're already talking about it.
Okay.
But game 3, I'm watching it, and it looks like the Sixers, they were gaining some momentum in that second half. Maxey hit some big threes. They were getting to the rim. And the Celtics, they were down by a couple points down that late stretch. And you were at that moment, I'm not even worried because I'm like, okay, the Celtics, they've been battle tested. They've been through these type of moments, down 8 points, 10 points on the road. And what happens? Jason Tatum hits a 3. Jaylen Brown starts getting going offensively. He's hitting mid-range. He's hitting threes. Peyton Pitcher has some back-breaking threes that made the Sixers crowd just demoralized. And we've seen the whole emotion of the crowd. And the moment, it was never too big for them. This is why they're champions from 2 years ago. And when I'm seeing this going on in real time, I'm like, man, this is why there's levels to this. You're watching it, it's like, man, this is why you can't count players out, like these type of teams out, because when they've been playoff battle tests, they've been through deep playoff runs multiple times, they've been to the finals twice with this unit, and it showed with their experience down the stretch, the execution they had. Luka Garza was hitting some big shots. Baylor Shireman was hitting shots. He had this nice pocket 3 where he didn't bring the ball down at all. He just shot it right up the gate. I'm just like, that. When you're an AU coach and you're teaching kids how to shoot, that's a prime example of that. Those type of examples is why this team is so elite. And I know with Embiid coming back, that changes up the dynamic a little bit. It's going to change the scouting report because Embiid is a force on both ends of the court. I don't know how he's going to move. I know he's been out for a bit, so we'll see how his conditioning is and things of that nature, especially coming back in playoff intensity. But if the Sixers could grab game 4 and tie it 2-2 going back to Boston, it's going to be an interesting dilemma, a change of events, because many people were wondering, because remember, he was out indefinitely. We didn't know if he was going to come back this series. That's why it was so big for them to get one of those games in Boston just so they could prolong the series and have a chance of Embiid potentially coming back. Now that they've done that, we'll see what they can do going against Boston tonight as we're recording this before the game 4 happens, because if they can tie it back 2-2, I'm not saying the Sixers are going to win the series, but I think this can go 6 or 7, even though I predicted before the postseason that the Celtics will win this in 5 games, because I thought Maxey could get you 1 game, which they did in Boston. But I didn't think it'll go 6 or 7. So that's some of my thoughts on that.
Now, what I do love about the drama when it comes to NBA playoff basketball, man, perfect timing to have Joel Embiid announce that he's coming to the game. What we talking about? What 15, 20 minutes? At least the headline I saw about 20 minutes before the game started. You know, that is a surprise because game plan wise, okay, it's like I'm thinking, okay, I don't know if the Sixers expected Joel Embiid to come back. Hell, I don't know if the Sixers expected Joel Embiid to come back, right? So there's kind of 2 things I think about for Joel Embiid is okay, you know, thank God you're back healthy, you know, and the fact that Tyrese, you know, and VJ Edgecombe gave them a game to have a chance to tie the series and make it interesting is great. I do want to see on Joel's side is okay, like what impact can you have? We always wonder with Joel Embiid. If it's an injury standpoint, what's the conditioning standpoint? Where's he at as far as that? But if he can play up to like his standard or close to it, it's gonna be a very good game. I'm gonna be very excited to see what that combination of VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid can really do. I think also, but if you're the Celtics, what does it look like as far as attacking him? I think to me, you want to test that condition. You want to attack him as much as you can down in the paint. Make some pick and roll moves, get a moving sideline to sideline or side to side, excuse me, and really to see where he's at, and see where his legs are at, because he hasn't played in been at least 2 weeks now, right? So
Yeah,
I
probably
want to
like
see
2 weeks or so.
physically where he's at. I think that's my big point. I mean, it doesn't change their prediction like you mentioned for the series, but it makes it interesting. I mean, you can't be shocked tonight if the Sixers tie the series up. I would not be shocked. I mean, I think with Joel Embiid returning, that chances is how much higher. If he didn't return tonight, I saw this winning. I will admit that. And probably still the winning if I like you said. But with Joel Embiid's return, man, if it's always if with Joel Embiid, and I hate that for the Sixers because it's been that way pretty much the Sixers' whole tenure with him. You know what I'm saying, or tenure on the Sixers. It's always if he's healthy, man, they can do this. They can make a finals run, and it's like we just never have gotten that. And it's always whether it's bad luck or whether it's just unfortunate injury timing. We never really get the answer to know like, man, like can they really do it? And I think with this game 4, it can reveal a lot. Now I'm not expecting it to be necessarily a big time performance, say like dropping 35, 20 rebounds, something like that in a game. But if he can be, say Tyrese gives you 30, which he's done before in this series, if he can give you, at least 25, something like that, 10, you know what I'm saying? Just solid, be an impact on both sides of the floor. And because you need that to contend with what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are doing. But we know what we're going to get from them. The only thing I would say from this other side, you'd love to get a little more from Derek White. He's one of my favorite players to watch. He's an X factor. But it's when he plays great, they always win pretty much. He's just that impactful in pretty much every area of the game. So if they get him to be more efficient, more involved in the game plan, I think they'll be fine, whether they lose this game or not. But I think that's my big point for this matchup. What are you gonna get from Joel Embiid? And if you're the Celtics, how are you gonna manage that as far as attacking him? How does it change your game plan with it coming? I would say pretty suddenly. I don't know how much they expected to see him in the series, if at all, because we had an appendectomy, so we had no idea if and when he'd return at all for the playoffs, right? So I'd love to see this matchup and really how it's going to affect the rest of the series.
Yeah, if I'm the Celtics, I'm speeding the game up.
Yep, absolutely.
Get him running and
They
beat
move
it.
side to side.
He cannot run that floor. Get him running, man.
Mm-hmm.
See, test that conditioning, see where he's at, and get him on a lot of pick and rolls and attack him.
Yes.
Just attack him relentlessly. Like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Oh, you hear Joel Embiid's playing? Hey, you're attacking him night every possession. So that's why I'm looking forward to the game plan for them today when they're playing them tonight. Because
just like Kendrick Perkins said, slide them puppies.
Yeah. You don't want to give them any confidence being tied 2-2 and you go back to Boston. Because then they're going to think they can win this series. They're like, oh, okay, we have a shot now. We have our guy back too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then especially when it was game 3, it looked like they were going to steal that game at home.
Yeah.
The Sixers, they're going to be up 2-1. But then the Celtics, they showed why their experience came through in the end, especially in that fourth quarter. So, if I'm the Celtics, don't give them any glimmer of hope. Really try to close take a 3-1 series lead. You don't want them to be tied 2-2 going back to Boston and have a chance to close it at home. That's what you want to do. And rest up, get ready for the next series. Because the Knicks, that's Hawks series. Knicks and Hawks, we'll get into that next. That looks like that's going to be a long series. That looks like it's going to be a long series. So if I'm the Celtics, take care of your business right now. That way you rest up. Tatum's still coming back from that Achilles. He looks like he's good, but sometimes I still wonder. His 3-point shot's been a little off sometimes for me. Yeah, like his step back and stuff. I feel like it's a little off since he's came back. I feel like he needs more time to get his move back, especially from shooting from the outside. But I think getting some rest for him before the next series will be key for them. So I expect them to really win this game tonight, even with Embiid coming back and getting the job done. Because I'm gonna be honest, the Celtics have owned the Sixers over the years.
Oh yeah,
they've owned them. Yeah, so that's something I'm looking forward to. The next thing I want to look at is Hawks and Knicks. I was watching that game yesterday, and Man, I'm just gonna say this: the Knicks took a lot of heat after losing that game 3. CJ McCollum came up clutch. They won that game, and they were up 2-1. And I'm like, man, this is the Knicks team I had winning this series in 5 or 6. What's going on? I mean, Brunson in the end of that game 3 turns the ball over, and then before that possession, he airballed a jumper. I'm just like, damn, this is not looking good. Mikal Bridges had 0 points that game. I'm like, you're paying this guy 100. How much million? 50 million? Brunson took a pay cut to get his guy here, and he's putting up donuts. I'm like, this is not a good sign. Near New York, and we can't even blame Cat. Cat's been playing great. I'm against the Cat because he played great last night when I was watching the game. He had the first Knick triple-double, the 4th Knick ever to record a triple-double in the playoffs, joining Walt Clyde Frazier, Josh Hart, and Dick McGuire. He was incredible for them yesterday. And I saw in this game when I was watching it, they were kind of hiding Jalen Brunson defensively. When they had him guarding Dyson Daniels, who's an offensive liability. He looked petrified to shoot the basketball. He did not look to score. Even when he has some drives to the rim, I'm like, he's going to the rim, but he's looking to pass. He looks unsure of himself offensively. Defensively, he's an elite defender. He was an all-defensive guy last year. He led the league in steals last year, like over 3 steals per game. It was the same what he was doing. But offensively, you don't have to worry about him. Bridges, he took that assignment on CJ McCollum, especially to start the game. And I like how, though, they were doing some cross matches with Brunson. They were protecting Brunson, letting Bridges handle the tougher offensive assignment. And offensively, they set the tone with Cat getting into the paint. And he was doing some incredible passes on the high post and from three-point range. So when he was getting catching the ball on top of the key, he was finding cutters, cutting to the rim, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, whoever you name it. And he was throwing that ball dime on the needle. Like, he had the ball on the thread. And it was incredible to see what he was picking apart that Hawks defense. They had no answer for him. And then he was being aggressive, going to the rim, too, looking for a shot, rebounding the basketball. I love what I saw from Cat in this game. If he plays like this, they're hard to beat. And OG Anunoby, he was getting his, too. Mm-hmm. He was knocking out three-point shots. He was active defensively. And this is a good sign for you. The Knicks, you got punched in the mouth in game 2 and game 3. We wanted to see how you respond. You know, playing in New York is a lot of pressure. And they responded in a big way, which is something we've seen this core group of the Knicks do since their tenure coming together as a unit. And I want to see them do that in game 5, continue to have that consistency, because you don't want to give the Hawks any chance of any kind of confidence thinking they could beat you in the series. Because let's be honest, you guys are the better team. It's a young, talented Hawks team. Jalen Johnson, his jumper has betrayed him in the series. His jumper has not been falling. He's been kind of a liability offensively for the Hawks. And he's a guy who potentially could make All-NBA third team, even though he was in that most improved player of the year conversation. He's a really good young player. But this is a young team, very inexperienced. They shouldn't be beating you guys. You guys are battle tested. You've been to the conference finals. You have championship aspirations. You want to try to get there. Yeah, at least if you're going to lose to the Celtics in the second round. Or get to the conference finals, lose to Detroit. You shouldn't be losing to a Hawks team that has no legitimate superstar. Even though Kill Alexander Walker, he's a really good player. Mm-hmm. Dale Johnson's an all-star. But there's no superstar on this team that has a lot of experience. Like, CJ McCollum's a really good player, high level, but he's not better than Brunson and Cat. Like, come on, man. Like, this is why when they lost that game 2, they were up and then they allowed Atlanta to come back. Mm-hmm. And then McCollum has that game 1 and game 3. Those 2 bad losses right there. And that's why Stephen A was coming at them. He was going at them. He was ticked off. You know, Stephen A, he's gonna give his seat, especially if the Knicks are playing bad, whether they're playing great or bad. He's gonna let his
he gonna be in the movie
voice his opinion. So that this series has been interesting to watch. It's been more compelling than I thought it would be. But and I just love Anunoby. This is something Anunoby. I love how aggressive he was offensively. He was attacking. Whenever he had a small defender on him, he was going right at them. He wasn't settling for no jumpers. He was going, using his size, his strength, and to get downhill. And that's what I want to see him continue to do that. Because Gabe Vincent can't guard him. I saw poor Gabe Vincent was trying to front him in the post. He said, give me the ball. And he just going strong to the rim and finishing with ease. Has some great second chance points and opportunities for the Knicks. They were rebounding the basketball. I love Mitchell Robinson's activity defensively for them. He gave them some good minutes. And then they made an adjustment as well. They reduced Mikal Bridges' minutes, and they gave more minutes to Miles McBride, Jordan Clarkson. They gave him some offensive spark off the bench. McBride kind of alleviated some ball handling duties off Brunson to take some pressure off him, and he knocked down some big threes for them as well. So, yeah, on the Knicks, I'm feeling good after that game 4. I know things can always switch game to game. That's how the playoffs are. The emotions are always high. You don't want to get too high or too low. And they also did a great job. This is a Hawks team. They love to get out in transition. They're athletic, one of the most athletic teams in the league this year, and a young team. They had 0 fast break points I saw for the Hawks and forced them to 18 turnovers. Yeah, they did a great job in this game, forcing turnovers and getting back on transition defense. Incredible job by the Knicks in game 4. They need to do the same thing in game 5. And hopefully Jalen Brunson, I know he tweaked his ankle. He didn't look the same when he came back at a certain point in the game. I think it was third quarter. But luckily, the Knicks, they kind of had a comfortable lead. They were flowing offensively, so it wasn't too much of a worry. But we'll see how he plays in Game 5. So, yeah, this is a series. It's been one of the most entertaining series for me, and I hope New York could close it out, man. If the Knicks lose to this Hawks team, it's not going to be a good look. It's going to be a long offseason, and Mike Brown might get looked at.
Either way, you can get looked at. Now, to me, like there's two things. I knew the Knicks obviously had pressure going into this playoffs because like people are picking them, to go to the finals and the conference finals at least because with the way they came into the season, the Knicks were so talented and the Celtics were down and they thought they can have a runaway basically to the finals, and it hasn't really turned out that way. Now, as far as this matchup, I knew the series would be very competitive. I thought this would be probably the toughest matchup that the Knicks could have had. I felt like the Knicks would have rather played somebody like the Raptors, something like that, someone where they felt like they would have had just more of an advantage against matchup wise. But I was also surprised more so how they were kind of written off after Game 3. I felt like Stephen A. was mad. Like, he's acting like they already were down like 3-1 instead of 2-1. But I felt like in that game, I really felt like in this game rather, I felt like the difference in the game was at some point, bro, in this series, if the Hawks are going to win, which they still have a great chance to do so, Jalen Johnson, you got to be that guy. That's what's really sitting out to me. The Knicks bounced back, obviously more disappointing, loss in Game 3. We already talked about how Cat played and everything like that. Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, all those guys. But at the end of the day, if you're the Hawks, and this difference between, to me, a young team, I'm still a very talented young team and a more experienced team, where go for the juggler. This was your chance at home to get a 3-1 lead, and then y'all just didn't show up the way y'all needed to. Because to me, it's like, man, CJ gave you a game. CJ's been playing great in this series, but CJ isn't coming in as the guy. He's 35 years old, But the fact is, he was taking advantage of his matchups, attacking, Jalen Brunson, or people are questioning him if he can be a number one guy, right? But if you're the Hawks, I'm disappointed at how they came out in this Game 4. They just didn't have the energy. Like you knew the Knicks would come out, with some intensity because it's a situation they didn't want to go down 3-1. But now going into Game 5, going back at home, you're a lot more comfortable. To the point now where like I'm curious to see how the Hawks are going to respond because now you got punched in the mouth when you could have taken advantage of your lead. Now it's tied going back to Knicks Arena. How are you going to respond? And to me, I want to see Jalen Brunson. Jalen Johnson step up and really make an impact. His impact on this series. Dyson Daniels is another guy I worry about because I want to see like I love his defense, but just his offensive liability it just hurts you so much. I don't know how that can help you over the course of the series. To really unless you're gonna start hitting some threes. Obviously, with 0-for-2 in Game 4, it's really gonna be hard to really maximize his value in his minutes. Obviously, he played 30 minutes in Game 4, but to really have winning minutes, obviously, it was -9 plus minus. I don't know how that's going to be impactful over the course of the series. So I want to see, again, who else can step up. Obviously, you're able to kill Alexander Walker playing well. CJ's been playing well over the course of the series. Guys like that, Kuminga's been playing well. So it's like you just need, more guys like a Jalen Johnson, to step up to really make the series, what it could be. Because the Hawks can win this series, and that's what makes it so interesting to me because the Knicks have such a tough matchup, with playing the Hawks. I felt like where I just felt like in the first round, that's the last team you wanted to play. Then they have to go to the Celtics after that, with how it's going to go, with how it's lined up. But I do trust Jalen Brunson still in the clutch. He's still big time. We got to see how he responds to the injury. And again, to me, it always comes down to Cat. If you're the Knicks, if you can get Cat playing like this, you can beat almost anybody, including the Celtics, in my opinion, at least in the Eastern Conference. If you can get this level of performance, and then if Mikal Bridges can give you just anything better than 0 points. Obviously, because that kind of got a lot of headlines in Game 3, having 0 points and all the minutes he played. If Mikal Bridges can play a little bit better, because like obviously the criticism with him is just the first round picks. You know, much as a player, as much as he's liked as a player, there's no way you can cover for that. But to me, I don't really blame him for that. Like we knew Mikal Bridges wasn't one of the first round picks. The Knicks should have known that. So I don't really fault him for that, much as I fault the Knicks organization for making that trade that way. To me, there's no reason, because it's crazy in hindsight looking back that like we live in a world where Mikal Bridges was traded for more first round picks than Luka Doncic. So you know what I'm saying? it's like that wouldn't even work in 2K, bro. So I don't necessarily fault Mikal Bridges too much when it comes to that conversation, but like he doesn't play better if the Knicks are not even the team we expect them to be or believe they can be. But at this point, I do have to say I think it could be still a competitive series. I would not be surprised if it is forced into 7, because I can see the Knicks coming home, getting the win. Game 6, Hawks fight for their lives and force a Game 7, and the Knicks close it out.
No, definitely. And correction, the Hawks only had 7 fast break points, not 0, but that's still very few
not much
for a young athletic team.
Yeah.
And it's the team you want to get out. And when you have Jalen Johnson, Jonathan Kuminga, who can fly in the air, like you have athletic dudes, Mohamed Gator who can catch lobs too.
Yeah.
You want to get out and take advantage of that. But this is a team that struggles in the half court. They don't really half court offense. The only guys who could really consistently knock down a 3 is like Nickeil Alexander-Walker and CJ McCollum. Everybody else, you're sagging off on them.
You
like, we're going to dare them to shoot. We're not going to let you go to them because that's your strength.
Absolutely.
We're going to sag off and make you beat us from the 3-point line. And Alexander Walker, if it's not him, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, go ahead, shoot that thing, because Dyson Daniels, yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, please shoot.
We know you can't shoot.
Please
so
shoot.
yeah. The scouting report and game plan. That's why the playoffs are different. The adjustments, teams are more intensified, seeing at your tendencies, and that's why we get to see, okay, how do guys adjust to that? What are their counter moves? That's what separates the good from the great players, because they know how to adjust on the fly. So
absolutely,
I expect the Knicks though to take the next 2 and close it out in 6, because you don't want to force a Game 7. Anything can happen in a Game 7.
You don't, but Hawks I think can do it, man. We'll see.
Yeah. So that's something I'm looking forward to. The next series I want to talk about, Nuggets Timberwolves, man. Woo! This has been one of the best series. I just want to get prayers up to Dante DiVincenzo towards Achilles. I knew it right from the get-go.
Yeah, man.
Like a minute, not even 2 minutes into the game.
I hate to see it.
Shoots that 3. He's trying to go save it from going out of bounds, and you see him go to the ground, and he can't get up. I'm like, oh no, I've seen this movie too many times. Kevin Durant, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, you name it. And when he's telling them, call timeout, he's telling them, like, guys, I can't get up. Like, he's trying to wave to the bench.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, this is not good. And he was playing so great for them. He was hitting key baskets. He's one of their best shot creators. He alleviates pressure off Anthony Edwards, who also went down later in the game. Luckily, it's just a hyperextended knee injury. I thought he tore his ACL. I said, oh, no. When he landed and buckled his knee, Anthony Edwards, I said, no, they lose Edwards and DiVincenzo, because DiVincenzo's going to be out all of next season now. Which is just a bummer, because they were playing so well. And they have the number on Denver now. They're up 3-1 in this series. But the injuries was a bummer. But we got to give credit to Dosunmu, man. I thought this was one of the best trades. When the trade deadline came and they acquired him, I said, the Timberwolves were a winner, because they needed a guard like this coming off the bench.
Absolutely.
He scored 43 points off the bench.
That's insane.
He's just the 4th player in NBA history to score 40 or more off the bench ever, joining Fred Brown in 1976, Nick Van Exel in 2003, and Steph Curry in 2016 when he was playing the Blazers, when he come back from that knee injury he was dealing with. And he said that I'm back game. You know what I'm saying? That record-breaking year. So this was an historic playoff performance from Dosunmu. And we got to give him credit. He outplayed Jokic in this game, a guy who's a 3-time MVP, who was being neutralized by Rudy Gobert. And honestly, this is a legacy-defining series for Rudy Gobert. This guy has given Jokic trouble. I think this is the best he's ever guarded Jokic in his entire career. I know 2024 they did the same thing, but he had Cat with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Randall has kind of helped too, and Jaden McDaniels, but primarily the primary defender on Jokic has been Gobert. And Jokic in this series, 39% from the field, 18% from three as we're recording this right now. This is the worst series of his career. This is the least efficient he's ever been. These are career lows for him. And the physicalities bother him. Gobert's arm wingspan is bothering him. And he's just disrupting his rhythm. He just does not look like himself. He's out of sorts. I know Jamal Murray had 30 points. He shot 40% from the field, but he's not athletic enough to beat the athletic wing defenders that the Timberwolves have. They throw Reed at him. They throw McDaniels at him. McDaniels has been guarding Murray very well. Dosunmu can guard. Bones Highland, he's more of a scorer. Gobert is protecting that back line. And I want to give shout out to Bones Highland and Mike Conley as well. They came in, contributed some key minutes, hit some threes for this team when they needed it. Especially with Edwards going out, they need some production from those guys. Those guys are going to have to step up. They want to close out the series. Because I think Denver's going to win Game 5. I'm going to be honest. But I think Minnesota will probably close it out in Game 6. But, yeah, it's been a kind of odd series for Jokic, man. I'm just like, man, this is 3 of 5 in the fourth quarter in Game 1. 1 of 7 in Game 2 in the fourth quarter. 1 of 3 in Game 3 in the fourth quarter. 0 of 6 in Game 4 in the fourth quarter. He has not been closing out games like he usually does. For someone who's considered by most the best player in the league for the last 3-4 years. And then it doesn't help that one of his best guys, Aaron Gordon's kind of hindered with a calf strain. He's not moving the same. He's not as explosive. He can't adjust his speed right when he needs to do those little backdoor cuts he does. And Jokic finds him. And he's the best cutter and finisher for Jokic. Jokic, he's the one who benefits the most if Jokic just passes. And that's a key valve for them, for their offense. And it's hurt them. And the Timberwolves, though, I got to give them credit. I know injuries suck. It's going to hurt them the next round.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's looking really good. This has become a rivalry. And then that ending with Jokic and McDaniels. McDaniels goes takes that layup.
All the smoke.
Rule basketball, don't take that shot, especially when you're already up by how much. Nobody's playing defense. Team's already over. And then Jokic that's the fastest I ever seen that guy run on defense.
That's the thing. Now you want to hustle, right? Yeah.
I'm like, where was that just the whole game? I'm like, he looked like a train star there. I'm like, oh, you got to go sign up for the Serbian Olympics now. Get ready for LA 21. How fast he was running. Like, come on, bro. I'm like, how you gonna get mad? At least put up some fight during the game when it's within a reasonable distance.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
And Jaden McDaniels, he was talking that ish in Game 2, and he said they're all bad defenders at Game 2. But he's been backing it up with his play, so I can't even
that's the main thing.
He's backing it up, and his team is up 3-1. They're winning, so they have Jokic's number right now. So Jokic, you gotta prove it, man. You gotta come back, dominate, and beat Jokic. They came back down 3-1 before him and Jamal Murray back in the bubble.
Yeah.
But I mean, with Anthony Edwards out though, they might have a chance because their best players out. So we'll see how that goes. But they should be feeling good. Okay, I know Edwards is injured, but they still have a good squad there. But Jokic, you got to find a way to get Gobert in foul trouble early, knock him off his path, because he's having your number right now. And I've never seen him so out of sorts consistently. I've seen him have a bad game here and there, but not 3 games straight. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen this from Jokic.
That's the thing.
I think if he loses this series, we got to really question if he's still the best player in the league.
I mean, I think we're already questioning right now, bro. I mean, here's the thing: they're down 3-1. The Timberwolves are missing their best player, but here's the thing: with Jokic, my thing is now at this point, win or lose with this series, don't let it be you. You know what I'm saying? The main thing is, regardless of what goes on, obviously, y'all. As far as the other pieces aren't playing the best ball outside of Murray, you had one, double-digit scorer, and he only had 10 in Tim Hardaway. So I think my main thing is with Jokic, and you're right about that conversation. We're going to have it. I mean, to me, we've already been having it. But my thing is, regardless of what happens, is like I say, you got to ball out. Like if they are going to come back now from this 3-1 deficit, which they have a great chance to do so now, especially with Edwards being gone, Dante DiVincenzo being gone. Like, I don't see no reason why they can't do it, right? But at the same time, it's like what's stopping them right now has been Gobert making Jokic inefficient when it matters most. So it's my thing. If Jokic plays Jokic ball, oh yes, absolutely, come back win this series, especially without Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo. But is that going to happen? And also, okay, in if you're the Timberwolves, who's going to be that guy that steps up consistently? Obviously, we got what Dosunmu gave you, but we're not expecting him to drop 40 points over the course of the rest of the series, right? To me, I want to see what's your certified number 2 going to do in Julius Randle. I think he's going to be the guy. If you're going to close it out, and whether it be game 5, game 6, potentially even a game 7, if that were to be the case, it's going to have to be Julius Randle who's going to step up. Offensively, the Rudy Gobert keep continuing to do your job defensively to contain Nikola Jokic the way you've been doing it, which has been a phenomenal masterclass as well. But that to me is what it's going to come down to. To me, as of right now, I mean, I don't see who else is going to be that consistent person offensively for the Timberwolves to really close it out. Because closing games are the hardest games to win in a series. So to me, if Jokic, if you're the Nuggets and Jokic specifically, you have to smell blood in the water. This has got to be the time where like this is the time, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like get on my back and we gonna do this thing. Me and Murray gonna carry us all the way through because they don't have their best player, and their best player is their second best player is not necessarily known as a great playoff performer, Julius Randle, right? So to me, if you're the Nuggets, you can argue we have right where we want them. Obviously you got to prove it, you got to do it, but it starts into Jokic, and if that doesn't happen. I think again that's we're gonna have that best player in the world conversation. I've heard people comparing it to and I don't necessarily agree with it fully, but 2016 KD, 2011 LeBron is like a big failure in their careers where they didn't win a series that but most people thought they should have won, right? Looking back, but definitely if you lose Game 5, going back to Denver without Anthony Edwards, and you get cooked, you get clamped by Rudy Gobert again. Oh yeah, it's a bad look. Now, like I say, Jokic I think is gonna drop a 40-point triple double. It would not shock me, but I want to see it because the way Gobert's been balling this series, no one saw that coming either. So I'm expecting right now, just because I don't necessarily trust who's going to be the guy for the Timberwolves at this point in the rest of the series, but I know who's going to be the guy for the Nuggets. He just got to show up, right? And to me, he will. Now they can still lose even if he shows up. And I wouldn't necessarily blame him if they lose that way, but that's my main thing is for the Nuggets, Jokic got to be that dude. If they lose, despite you having that big time performance, then to me there's nothing you can say about him. Then just shout out to the Timberwolves for getting it done and closing out the series, and then next thing you know it's gonna be Cancun because you'll have your guy. But that's how I see the series going out. I think Nuggets as of right now should be a team that you expect to come back.
No, definitely. This is I'm just perplexed, man. I'm like, damn, I did not see Denver losing like this, down 3-1.
Yeah, me neither.
That'll be the other way around.
Essentially, yeah. I thought they were tied last night. To be honest.
Yeah. Because coming into this playoffs, I had Denver winning in 6.
Yeah.
6 or 7. I knew it would be a long series, but I had Denver with that advantage. Well, I didn't expect Aaron Gordon to sit out Game 3 with the calf strain.
Yeah, man. Andrew's a past
he's not the same. And last year he had the hamstring injury, so it's like
you got it out for a game.
Numerous injuries now coming into the postseason, and that's kind of hurt their chances of winning another title because they only won one in the Jokic era now, Jokic and Murray.
Exactly.
And many people thought they'd be a dynasty, but it just shows like how talented the NBA is and how hard it is to win.
Absolutely.
These guys they haven't gone past the second round since they won that title.
Exactly. Things can change real fast.
Yeah, they have not been to a conference final since they won in 2023. That just shows you how you got to cherish winning when you can and try to get it, take advantage of it when you can.
Yep, and find head coaching between that time too. So
Speaking of teams that need to get it together, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ugh.
I mean,
goodness.
I ain't gonna lie, watching this game was ugly. Game 4 today, it was hard to watch. I ain't gonna lie. That first quarter, 25-31. I didn't even want to watch the game. I was like, damn, this is some ugly basketball. This is some of that 90s defense, rugged. Teams are shooting poorly from the field from 3. I mean, god damn. I was just like, yo, I want to really watch this. I mean, like,
watch fitness basketball.
Yeah. Like, is there anything else on? The Cavs shot 36% from the field, 25 from 3. The Raptors shot 32% from the field, 13% from 3, and won the game. 13. And this is a team in Game 3 that shot over 55% from the field and 60% from 3. They couldn't miss in Game 3. It was a total flip of the of the script in Game 4. They couldn't buy a basket in this game compared to Game 3. They were hitting everything in Game 3. And I just want to give a shout out to Scotty Barnes, man. 33 points in Game 3. The first Raptor had 30, 10, and 5 in a playoff game. Today, he didn't shoot the ball as well today. 23, 9, and 6 with 3 blocks. Comes clutch down the stretch, being aggressive, going to the basket, hits those free throws. And then I'm looking at the Cavs. I'm just like, Colin Murray Boyles as well. Got to give the rookie some love. He was incredible for them today. He's like a boulder, man. This guy's built. He's getting rebounds. He's scoring for them, finishing off dump passes. He can hit threes. And he's a solid defender. He just knows how to play basketball. Colin Murray, and he's a solid passer as well. To me, this rookie class was special. Colin Murray Boyles didn't even get a lot of love because how great the rookie class is. Edgecombe, Flag, Knipple, you name it. He's another great rookie from the 2025 class. He's been a key part of their 2 wins that they've had in this series. Brandon Ingram, poor shooting night, but he finished with 23. But really, the story of this game, Cavaliers, man. How many? 17 turnovers? Harden had 7 of them. You can't. How you expect to win on the road when you have 6 of 14 from the shooting from the field, 6 of 24 for Mitchell. Their 2 best players combined 12 of 38. That's not gonna get it done. And then Mitchell, you try to even do a crazy contested shot at the end when you didn't have to do that. You guys were down by. You could have went to go quick 2, draw, foul them, force them to make it at the free throw line, and potentially go tie the game or win the game at the end. You didn't have to take that wild contested shot. Especially when there was no, you guys could have wound the ball down to the end. You could have just quickly go get a 2 and try to, cause a turnover or something. But instead, he's up this weird 3-point shot from the right top wing, and then he basically tried to save the ball going out of bounds, and then he almost freaking trucks 2 people while doing it. So, yeah, this is Cavaliers. There's a lot of pressure. The pressure is back on them now. They lost the last 2 games. Now they have to go home, get Game 5, and then try to close it on Toronto. Because if you lose at home in Game 5,
no, nah,
you put yourself in this predicament now. Sam Merrill had a clutch basket, but it was a 2-pointer because his foot was on the line. That could have helped them right there, but they said no. This was a 2-pointer because his foot. I saw the replay. His foot was on the line. He was key for them today, but they're star players. They got to shoot the ball better. They got to play better. Simple as that. Mobley, I need more than 8 points, bro. 4 of 11. Come on, man. What are we doing? You're a great defender, but man, you leave a lot to be desired on the offensive end. Jared Allen, you too. You ain't safe. 1 of 5 from the field. I need more than 11 points and 5 of 16 from the field from my 2 7-footers. Come on, man. You guys should be punishing this Raptors team in the paint. The only footer they got is Jakob Poeltl. Nobody else is 7 foot.
And he's not exactly scaring you.
Punishing them in the paint. What are we doing?
Man, so
what are we doing? And you guys want to win a championship? This is not championship basketball.
Oh hell.
Mitchell, Harden, you guys need to shoot the ball better. Harden, you need to cut down the turnovers, buddy. You averaging over 5 turnovers in the series, and you increased that average today with 7. What are we doing now, Harden? This is why people come at you for not performing in the playoffs. You turn the ball over like crazy, and then you have poor shooting nights. Mitchell, I need better than 6 of 24. You're shooting tour dates right now.
I just about to say that.
6-24? Come on, Mitchell. Some people recognize you as the second or arguably the best shooting guard in the league. You're in that top 2, top 3 conversation. To me, you're a great shooting guard. You're not Anthony Edwards or Shea. Shea, I consider a shooting guard. Some people consider him a point guard. Shea's a shooting guard.
Yeah.
But if you want to get your team to a championship level, they need more from you. But yeah, Harden, turnovers, bro, you got to cut this stuff out, man.
For real.
And then I need more from my bigs. 11 points combined?
Man, I got
7-footers, man.
I gotta say one thing. First of all, when it comes to Mitchell, he's the superstar in this series. Obviously, he's going to play better, and I believe he will. I'm not necessarily worried about Mitchell when it comes to his performance in the playoffs. He's been a playoff performer, most of his career. Win or lose. He's dropped 50+ in the playoffs before. Obviously, you would love to see him play better in the fourth when it matters most. But to me, when it comes to that front court of the Cavs. I've seen enough, bro. I think it's time. You can keep Mobley because he's younger, maybe, but to me, Jared Allen. It's been what 3 playoffs in a row where he's come up small. I never forget the quote. I think a couple years ago now when he was talking about the lights were too bright. When that series against the Knicks in the first round a couple years ago. Ever since then, bro, I was like, wait, why the hell would you say that? First of all, in this meme culture, that's never gonna go away, by the way. But it's like, all right now, like, and then not to say like he's some great scorer anyway, but to just have such a minimal impact on the game when you're not going against some elite front court as well in the Raptors, and it just happened too many times in the playoffs where you just disappear in the playoffs. You're just not the fact that you should be despite your height. I'm at the point now where like one or both of them, you might have to make moves on, or at least make some phone calls.
One of them are gone. I'm gonna tell you that.
They have to be, bro. We've seen this too many times. How many times you got to see the same movie, make the same recipe, and get disappointed by it, and then expect different results? Because it just at this point now where I don't think we're gonna get enough from them to really make this worth keeping us a duo. Because I mean, it's one to not score, but like to not have much impact at all in the game. Like, I know he had 2 blocks, but still, like what are we talking about, bro? Like if you watch the game, no one was acting like Jared Allen was
watching the game. You can't just be a box score reader. You got to watch the game. There's no.
That's what I'm saying, man. They had 0 impact in this game, and it's like if your best player isn't gonna have the best shooting performance, at least okay, hey, let me lock things down on defense. Let me get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? And we also talked about with the addition of James Harden, how much that would mean for Evan Mobley, how much it would mean for Jay Allen. Thinking about going back to the Clint Capella days when he had the great pick and roll combination. How great James Harden is for young bigs and everything. I've not seen that in this series really. So I'm at the point now where it's like if you're the Cavs, it's the same question marks we have. Yes, we expect them to win this series because if you're the Raptors, they're position where they're a young team. They have a lot of good players, superstar players. We didn't think the series would be this tough either. I mean, hell, 2 games ago when the Cavs won Game 2, people were saying it's gonna be a 4 or 5 game series, and now look at y'all. The series is now at the point where you've made it tougher than it had to be, to where you never know what can happen now at this point with the way injuries are and things like that. But if you're the Cavs, man, you start to wonder: are you at a crossroads? Not just with Jared Allen and Mobley, but it's like with this core, like how far can we really get? Because I remember for a couple years ago, when they won 64 games, like, okay, they had their identity without LeBron. They really felt like they're their own franchise separate from the LeBron era. But it's like now it's like, bro, like, do we really expect anything from the Cavs? Like, yes, they should got this first round series, but like, what do we expect beyond that? Not much. So it's like when it comes to this game, and I don't make this about one game, but it's just like when you see something kind of every year, how things go, where like the Cavs can give you this kind of game in a series or just overall, like you expect them to play a certain way. I remember last year against the Pacers, excuse me. You expect them to play a certain way, and they just don't live up to that moment. And when you consistently see that, it's all right, man. Like it's raps. I wouldn't say disappointed because I'm not shocked. I want the Cavs to prove me wrong when it comes to doubting them, but it's just like they just give you too many reasons to continue doubting them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just at the point now where it's like, yeah, you'll win this series, bro, but we're not expecting much from you moving forward. It's like kind of move along type thing to me. So that's the main thing I can say about the Cavs right now. Just like they're not a team that you're really worried about as far as really being a serious contender for a championship in the Eastern Conference, especially when you think about the teams that really are contending, which is the Celtics, the number 1 right now. So it's like I just think, man, it might be time to move along for the Cavaliers when it comes to this core. If you can't really be a serious contender, because like what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's everything we just said is correct. And then I'm looking at Mobley's contract over the next couple of years.
I'm saying, man, that's expensive.
It'll be one of the worst contracts if he can't give you more production. $46 million this year. Next year, $50 million. They'll be paying him. 53 in 2027, 28. 57 in 28, 29, and it ends in 29, 30 with $61 million. You're going to pay that guy that much over the duration of how many more years he has left, and he's giving you 8 points in a playoff game, and he hasn't. And this is not just the first series. This has been throughout his career.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
stagnated offensively. He hasn't improved offensively. You're paying the guy that much who can't give you 20 a game.
Yeah, couldn't give you double digits.
That's going to be one of the worst contracts in the league.
Man, that's rough.
That's going to be a bad contract, man. I need more production from my former top 3-4 pick and a guy who you expect to be a franchise cornerstone. Mobley, you need to play better, more aggressive. To me, he needs to hit his shot more. He needs to be more aggressive, looking for his shot. Sometimes to me, when I see him and he's looking at, I'm like, go to the rim.
Yeah, he passive, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Like, yo, you're athletic, you're mobile. Go to the rim, draw a foul, something.
Yes.
And then I need more production from Jared Allen. Jared Allen, at least give me 12 and 10 every game. I know you're not a natural scorer, but I need double-digit points. You give me 15 rebounds, okay, but I need double-digit points from you. And like I said, Harden, you got to cut down the turnovers, buddy. This has been a notorious throughout your career. You got to stop turning the ball over so much. He's had so many games where he turned the ball over in the playoffs more than field goals made. Like, come on, man.
Don't let it be you.
Yeah. Like, come on. Harden, guys, Cleveland, step it up. Step it up. You guys have no business losing. Just like with the Knicks. The Knicks have no business losing to the Hawks. That'll be one of the biggest upsets.
Mm-hmm.
Raptors should not be beating you guys. They're not a better team than you guys. They're not as talented. They don't even have a point guard. Man, Quickly's out. This team doesn't even have a legitimate point guard to lead their offense. It's mostly their point forwards running the offense. Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram. Come on, guys. Come on. There's no way. They don't even have a true point guard on the floor. You shouldn't be losing to this team. Yeah. Speaking of teams, now we got to the teams that they haven't really been taking care of business. Let's get to the teams that actually have been doing their thing. Let me hear about your Lakers, man. Let's talk about your Lakers.
Man, I mean, here's the thing.
Man. That game 3, bro, on Friday night, I said no. Bro, I thought the Rockets had that game. Up 6 with 30 seconds to go. I want to know how you felt, man. I know you have to be going crazy.
Man, first of all, like I just want to make sure we table the conversation the right way. To me, I know everybody's talking about, oh man, LeBron wins his first round series. He's the GOAT. Whatever your opinion is on that, I feel like, to me, like the GOAT debate's already decided. I don't even want to get into that. To me, when it comes to this series, where the conversation really should lean, bro, is just how the Rockets may have been the most disappointing team in the league this year. Because it's not just LeBron. Mind you, LeBron's playing great. But the contribution we're getting from Luke Kennard in this series, contribution we're getting from Marcus Smart in this series, DeAndre Ayton at times, have been incredible. And on the other end, it's like, man, okay, KD, hasn't had the best opportunities in the series because of, health. If KD had been healthy, maybe this would have been a different series. Obviously, Rio was horrible. So you think, well, anything's better than that. They probably would have won the game the other night. If not for KD being hurt. But it just, man, like it just to me the most disappointing thing is when you build a team and you have a superstar that you add, an aging superstar and Kevin Durant. But what disappoints to me is the fact that like when you have that guy and then what you think you have is a young superstar or potential superstar to pair with him. And even though Sengun played great in Game 3, he's the only Rocket who really did much of anything that night as well. But just when you think about Sengun and Thompson, they hadn't really been what we needed them to be, or the Rockets needed them to be, to really kind of take that next step as a contender in the NBA, and really kind of take that step forward from last year where they were a 50+ win team. I think they were third seed, second or third seed last year, and you thought, adding KD would take them the next step into being a championship contender. They've been far from that, and to me, they've just been so disappointing. I think, man, I would not be shocked if Udoka gets fired because of this. If I think he's a good coach, man, I'm very impressed with the Lakers. It doesn't mean anything when it comes into the next round, though. Obviously, we have the Thunder, so regardless, it's a 4 or 5 game series. As of right now, I mean, we got to see what's going to happen injury wise with Austin Reeves. I think he could potentially come back tonight. From what I've heard in some reports, he's questionable. But with no Luka, there's definitely no chance. And even with Luka, like what are you really expecting to happen? I don't think. To me, the Thunder are our biggest kryptonite, I would say, when it comes to having any chance to contend in the playoffs. But I'm like I said, as far as the series, nobody had the Lakers up 3-0. Most of them had the Rockets definitely winning, and 5 maybe 6 games or whatever happened. Either way, they had them winning. So for the Rockets to go this far left it's got to be the biggest surprise / disappointment in the playoffs to me because the fact that it's gone this far and at this point, I heard KD isn't playing tonight. I'm giving it a full sweep, and I'm a Laker fan. And again, I did not have that happen at all, regardless of how LeBron played. I knew he played well. LeBron's an amazing, crazy 23rd season, 41 years old, and put on the performance that he has. But like, you really can't even make it just about Bron because of the fact that like this team, the players remaining on this team have played well above expectation. You got to give them a lot of credit because it hasn't just been Bron. Bron deserves a lot of credit because he's been getting guys involved and looking like a prime Magic Johnson at times. But like, shout out to Rui. You know, I already mentioned Kennard, Marcus
Shout out
Smart,
to Marcus
everybody.
Smart.
But it's just the fact that like, man, if you can get this production with Luka and with Austin Reeves, you know, you at least can make a series against Thunder, you know, interesting. Not saying we're gonna win it, obviously, because it's the Thunder to me are the super team in a sense. Definitely gonna be to me still the favorite and gonna win the championship. In my mind, they're my pick to win it all. But I just think about if you're the Rockets, man, it's got to be just you got to be just in the doghouse right now because no one saw this coming. Because and also you think about, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this. If you're KD, it's like you wonder at this point, like, is it me, bro? Because I think like because it's like I saw people mentioning it on Instagram, and I want to kind of get your opinion because it's like, is it just like where you choose to go, KD? Because if you like think about what LeBron's done when he leaves, he doesn't get enough credit for picking the right situation. Obviously, picking Miami was a no brainer. You're with D-Wade, Chris Bosh, going back to Cleveland with Kyrie and Kevin Love, no brainer there. Pairing up with AD, you got a chip everywhere you've gone. But if you're KD, since the Warriors, you made that second round. You're not gonna make a second round this year. You've been swept multiple times. And just the situation has never been to your benefit. So just now we're just getting the same old. It's like you're not any closer to a championship than you've been since you left the Warriors, man. So it's just disappointing where a guy who to me still is a top 15 player all time, it just you're disappointed the way his career has gone, despite him still putting up great numbers. So that just to me just the most disappointing part. But like I can say, Lakers it's a sweep tonight. It's done.
We're bringing out the brooms tonight.
Oh, I'm done, bro. Yeah, it's over with. I mean, because I was like, what are we doing? 3-0 at this point, you might as well go all the way. Get over with. Try to get some rest. Because on the other end, the Thunder are sweeping. So it's like you don't want to keep this series going on, and then the Thunder are rested up. You want to make sure if we know they're gonna sweep, let's make sure we get these boys out the way real quick so we go to Oklahoma City and try to do something, make it a competitive series and see what happens.
Yeah, looking at
his
playoff history. Yeah, he had a second round exit. He missed since this decade.
Yep.
He missed the playoffs in 2020, the Achilles. 2021 second round exit. 2022 first round sweep. 2023 second round exit. They lost to Ant and them in 2024.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a first round exit. They missed the playoffs in Phoenix last year. And then he gets traded to Houston, basically when he was at the Fanatics event. That's how he found out.
Yeah.
He has such a pull, and then this year now he's injured in the playoffs. He missed pretty much every game except for game 2. Yeah. Well, he's done with a bone bruise in his ankle. And he's not even on the bench, like,
yeah, man,
trying to uplift his teammates. Like, I know you're injured, but at least be on the bench trying to encourage your teammates. Say, yo, guys, give your veteran leadership and stuff like that. Like, you've been in a lot of these situations. You can give them your pointers. A lot of these guys are young. They're in their first or only second playoff series. You've been in hundreds of games. Give your pointers. That's what LeBron would be doing. That's why I would say, as great as KD is, great talent, he's not a leader.
Never.
Especially not vocal. He's not a leader. I don't think he really makes guys around him better. To me, he's a top 20 player of all time, but I feel like his legacy over these last couple of years has tainted due to injuries and also lack of playoff success. For as talented as he is, I don't know, man. He's just leadership is just the intangibles are just not there.
Nah.
And I love KD. I think he's a great player.
Phenomenal, bro.
But when you got to start questioning, like, man, is this guy like cancer on the team? Think about it.
Oof.
The way Golden State ended, that wasn't good. I know that was kind of Draymond's fault.
Yeah,
he was kind of Draymond. The Nets, that was a fiasco. That team was so disorganized. But then he forced his way out once they see, gotta get rid of Kyrie. Harden left. And he's like, all right, I'm forcing my way out too. He goes to Phoenix. Things don't work out there. Look what he does. Forces his way out again. And then now he's on Houston. Burner accounts on an all-star weekend. Going on your teammate. Come on, man. What are we doing? And then that kind of, you see the friction. You don't see
Yeah.
that connectiveness. Like we see with the Spurs, they're connected.
Oh yeah.
They're a group. They're a
One more machine.
well-gelled group.
Yeah.
They mess with each other. Houston, the body language doctor looks
They're
at it
just
as like,
coworkers, bro. They're
nah,
just
I don't,
coworkers.
I don't see it. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
they don't like each other. They're pretending.
Hell no.
Yeah, they're pretending. And you have Jabari Parker calling you out the other day too. I mean, Jabari Smith.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Oh yeah. Saw that. Saw
Yeah,
that headline. Yeah.
yeah. He's just,
KD's gonna
yeah,
be KD. Yo, yeah.
yeah. He's basically calling out KD, not in
Mhm.
a bad way because I think people are taking it out of context.
Yeah. No. Still.
Yeah, when you have one of your young guys, that's not a good look. Like these guys
It's the
have been
timing to me,
asking him
bro.
for
It's the
veteran
timing.
advice
Yeah.
to be there. He's like, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he basically said, "KD, you're KD, man. Like you're getting double teamed. Try to do your thing. Just do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I wonder what KD said to him in private because KD's
Let him be far on that
a
wall.
guy. He's a crazy guy. He's a polarizing dude. So, but yeah, man, I want to give kudos to Marcus Smart. This guy gets that turnover, that boneheaded turnover by Jabari Smith, by the way.
Yes.
Draws that foul, hits all 3 free throws. And then the next possession, LeBron hits that.
Man, I about lost my mind when that happened, bro.
Yo,
Lost my
I'm
mind.
just like, and LeBron had those 2 turnovers
Yeah.
before that run that allowed the Houston Rockets to go up by 6 or so because he had those 2 turnovers. Şengün scores both of those buckets and hits free throws. And then they make up for it. They force OT because Şengün couldn't hit the shot to prevent it from going to overtime. And then the Lakers, they outscored them in overtime. I think it was 11-8 in overtime.
Right.
Yeah. Smart. The Lakers outscored them 11-7. Smart scored 8 of his 21 points in the extra period.
Woo.
They could not
Balling,
stop.
man.
And I love Smart's energy. I think he's
Yes.
more valuable in the playoffs because he could be more physical. And we know one thing
Absolutely.
about Smart.
Gets away with
He's
more,
a
yeah.
physical guard. He's an elite defender. He's a former defensive player of the year back when he was with the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing he's gotten better at throughout his career, he can knock down the 3-ball.
Yep.
When his 3-ball is going down, he's a
Very
valuable asset.
Oh, yeah.
Because he can defend and he can space the floor. And then I love the activity I saw from DeAndre Ayton. They're getting him involved. Luke Kennard, when his shot's going, he had a big game earlier this series. But yeah, Jackson Hayes, he's putting the ball, throwing it down. He's rebounding the basketball. He's been active for them defensively. Coming to the series, I had Lakers winning in maybe 6. I thought it'd be a long series. I did not think it would be a sweep.
Hell no.
Only reason, even though with the injuries they all had and how people were doubting them, I was like, I trust LeBron over KD. He's a better leader. Even though he's older, he's still LeBron. Like, come on. He's going to make the guys better. He's going to find a way to impact the game. And that's what he's done. He had almost a triple-double last game, even though he had almost 8 turnovers. But LeBron still got the job done.
Right.
And at the end of the day, his intangibles, his leadership, the way he can impact the game in multiple ways, it's just levels above KD. So, yeah, they play the Thunder next round. They're gonna need Luka and Reeves for that.
Yeah, I pray he come back, man. And,
they need all their soldiers for that series. They gonna need all the.
I mean, the loss of Jalen Williams can make it somewhat, I guess, interesting.
Yeah.
You hope, but like I said, I'm not. I've seen the movie before, man. The Thunder are just too good. They're my pick to win the championship anyway, so I'm not gonna bet on that because of my fandom. I still gotta talk ball. But man, I just hope it's competitive. That's my main thing. Just compete, and whatever happens. What I can say.
And then speaking of the Thunder, we'll keep this quick because this series is basically over. But Thunder. So I was busy cooking yesterday, and I missed most of the game. But when I came back, I'm like, damn, I know there was a close. This was more of a competitive game compared to like game 1 where they blew them out. Game 2 and game 3 be more competitive. I'm just like, they can't stop Shea. And everybody wants to make fun of him. All the free throws. The dude scored 42 points, only 12 free throw attempts, 15 of 18 from the field. He missed 3 shots as a guard.
MVP.
14 of 16 off the dribble, 7 of 8 on open shots, 8 of 10 on contested shots, 3 of 3 when he was double teamed. He's just the 5th player in NBA history to score 40 or more in a playoff game while shooting over 80% from the field. He joins Dirk Nowitzki, Devin Booker, Terry Porter, and Elton Brand. He's only the 3rd guard to ever do so. That's the story company. I mean, you can't stop this guy. He can hit you with the fadeaway. He has counter move on counter moves. He can drive to the rim. He defends too. And when he's hitting his three ball, good night. Because he's a mid range maestro. When he's hitting the three ball too, good night. And he's gotten better at the three ball throughout the course of his career. Remember, early in his career, he wasn't an elite 3-point shooter, but over the last couple of years, he's gotten gradually better. Yeah, I don't know how you stopped. Even without J-Dub, they still can't beat Thunder, the Phoenix Suns. I was like, maybe they could steal one game, just one. Because I thought coming to the series is going to be a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. I thought maybe Devin Booker and Dillon Brooks get that one game, just one. Especially when J-Bell going down, I'm like, okay, maybe they can get this game 3, and then they lose in 5. Shea said, "Nuh-uh," and then I don't know if you saw it. I was reading an article, and I saw when I was watching the game. He said, "I don't need it. I don't need it." I know what he's referring to. I don't need the foul calls. I don't need it. I still get buckets.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Shea. I was like, this is what I love to see,
Talk
man.
your stuff.
Talk your stuff, man. And he backs it up. Backs it up. That's what I love the most. And you don't really see Shea animated. So it's like, oh, he's talking it. The Phoenix crowd couldn't do nothing. They're like, damn, this guy's killing us. So we can't really say nothing to him. We can't talk it. Nobody can stop him. And what's funny is his former Canadian brethren, Brooks tries after game 2 try to call him frail and say kind of like do it to the side, and then he just comes and drops 42 on their head.
Yeah,
and it's just right up.
He shouldn't have, bro.
And Brooks has been the main assignment on him.
Yeah,
throughout the series. He's like the only one who got at least maybe try to bother him, but he's still getting hit.
It don't matter, bro.
The only game he was inefficient was game 1.
Right.
I expect him to close it out tomorrow. There's not really much else to talk about the series.
And then what's up? I mean,
be a sweep.
I just hope we don't get bored with greatness. That's the main thing I can say real quick when it comes to Shea, because like the fact that he's doing 42 on the road in a game where the team you think is giving their best because they don't want to get down 3-0 and where it's pretty much over at that point and almost a guaranteed sweep. I mean, that's the best thing I think about on the Thunder side, especially you think about like with the loss of a Jalen Williams now, when who knows when he's going to come back because his injury has been something he's dealt with for pretty much the whole season. And I think is this the other hamstring, because it was the right hamstring, I believe, early announced the left. So who knows how that's going to impact the rest of the playoffs in the immediate future. But if you're the Suns, the only thing I can say about for the Suns, like I could say, obviously we expect them to lose. We weren't expecting them to win this series at all, even if you make it more than 5 games or so like that, right? But if you're the Suns, my thing is, man, Dillon Brooks has given us 30 plus in multiple games. Jalen Green has played well, despite not being the most efficient player. But my thing is Dillon Brooks, bro. 16 points on 6 of 16 shooting in 39 minutes. It's like, man, like, okay, like if we gonna lose, let's all our dogs play great. You know what I'm saying? We're like, okay. I mean, Devin Booker. Excuse me, Devin Booker. Thank you. Yeah, Dillon Brooks has been giving you 30. I want to know, like,
it should be the other way. Everybody should be Devin Booker doing it.
And that's what's so confusing about it, because it's like, bro, like Dillon's doing it, Jalen Green's doing it. Devin, if we can get one of your,
30, 40
vintage, you might even 30 yet one of your vintage, Devin Booker games, man, we at least could get. We could have got this game maybe. You know what I'm saying? Or still could get a game in the series.
You one of the best shooting guards in the league or a superstar. You gotta even though this team obviously is better than your team, at least you should at least have one of those games where you at least give your team a game.
And that's my main argument. We always say superstars give their teams a game.
At least a game.
No matter what it is. I mean,
even if you lose,
yeah,
at least go out swinging. At least okay, you had 35 on efficient 40 shooting, but you still lost to a better team. All right,
and that happens, bro. Because think about like AI. We all knew AI was losing to the Lakers, Kobe and Shaq, but like he got you a game though.
40 come on, bro. Very classic, and he stole a game.
That's the thing. You know and it's like with you, Devin Booker, it's like, man, no one had you in this series. We're not condemning you for losing the series, anything like that, or hit to your legacy from that standpoint, just from losing the series. But it's like, bro, you ain't showing us you that dude though. Is my issue. Like you can lose, but like you got to be that dude either way. And we just haven't seen that in this series, bro.
Playoffs show that,
right? And it's exposure in my mind, because the fact that you got your teammates who don't have the same expectations, putting up, solid performances, what I'm saying, like getting Devin Booker 30 plus points in back-to-back games. It's like, man, Devin Booker, where would we be at if you were giving us that along with what Devin Booker was doing? Especially without Jalen Williams. How could the series or how could this game, talking about game 3, how could that have gone? You know what I'm saying? To at least make it somewhat interesting. Because like I said, now at this point, I don't know if I'll even watch a game 4. I'm not gonna hold you, because it's like what am I gonna expect to happen? Like I've seen the movie too many times, bro. So just like, man, unless Devin Booker can beat Devin Booker in the playoffs, you start to wonder again. This is what I think about with the with teams where it's like we kind of seen the same story time and time again. We get a Suns. Where is it going? Should you start to consider making some move? Because at this point, like you were just a playing team. It's like, to me, in basketball, that's the worst position to be in, because it's like it's purgatory to me, because you're not good enough to contend, but you're not bad enough to get a top pick in a draft. So it's just like, what do you do with this roster at this point? Is I guess the main point I can make to close out to the Thunder Suns conversation. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this series.
Yeah, I don't. Devin Booker. I remember that 2021 run, that playoffs. He couldn't. I remember watching like almost every game. I'm like, this guy can't miss from the range. He was getting his. I feel like his peak was like 2021 to 23 when he was really on one. He was an MVP voting, like top 5 MVP finisher in 2022.
Yeah,
he was looking like the best shooting guard in the league, and then Anthony Edwards kind of took that from him in 2024 when he elevated to superstardom.
Yeah.
But there was a stretch during like a 2-3 year stretch. He was the best shooting guard in the league. People were like, oh, this guy. Some people were comparing him to Kobe. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I never thought he was Kobe because he's not as athletic as Kobe.
Yeah.
But over these last year or two, he struggles against contact, against physical defenders to get separation.
He hates a double team.
Blow by them, get to the rim. I'm just like, he's still good. Still a all-star level guard.
Yeah.
But it just shows like there's levels to this.
Yeah,
I would choose Mitchell over him.
I
probably would pick Edwards over him, definitely. And to me, SGA is a shooting guard, so he's the best shooting guard in the league.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'll choose those 3 over him. I think he's dropped down now to like the 4th best shooting guard in the league, maybe. So
Jaylen Brown, I don't consider him a shooting guard.
And ever since before CB3 and after, he hasn't had much success in the postseason. Man. It's just been kind of disappointing. And I don't know. I don't think he could be a number 1 on a winning team. I think maybe he could be a number 2 option. He could be a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could be a number 2. I don't think he could be a number 1. It's too much proof in the pudding now.
For real, there's a lot of teams that could use him though. If the Suns were gonna consider making a move, I'd love to see him potentially with maybe a Pistons team, maybe a Warriors, something like that. Like I think at this point, like he's got to consider the options.
Use them. They need some shooting. We'll speak about them next.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Pistons, let's get right into that series. We have 2 more series to get to: the Blazers, Spurs, and then Pistons, Magic. Let's get into the Pistons. To me, this has been one of my favorite series to watch. I know this has been. If you love physical basketball defense, this is your series. Yep. This is your series. I know we talk about the Cleveland series too, but this is even more physical than that series.
Yeah, man.
This series, if you watch it, guys are diving on the floor. Guys are bruising each other, elbowing in the paint. Jalen Duren, Wendell Carter Jr., Paulo Banchero. There's a lot of big, strong dudes down there, man.
100%.
And Magic, they won game 3. They play game 4 tomorrow as we're recording it. They're up 2-1 in the series. The 8th seed. Remember, they've dealt with a lot of injuries over the course of the season. Banchero, even though he didn't have an efficient shooting game, he almost recorded the first triple-double in playoff history for a Magic.
Wow.
25, 12, and 9 in game 3. 3 steals and 2 blocks. Even though he didn't shoot the ball well, he was impacting the game in multiple ways. And I love how decisive he's been throughout the course of the series for the most part. And I just want to say, too, Desmond Bane, huge for them in game 3. 7 3-pointers. This is what they've been missing over the last couple of years. A guy who could space the floor and spread out your offense to give Banchero, Wagner, Suggs, and guys more space to attack the rim. You didn't have the last couple of years because you didn't have nobody who was respectable enough from the outside. The defense had to really go out and guard. You know what I'm saying? All those guys were suspect 3-point shooters. Now you have a guy in Bane who's been hit, who's an elite 3-point shooter, who's doing what he needs to do. That's why they brought him here. 9 of 18 from him, 25 yesterday. I'm just like, yeah, And then Wendell Carter, 14 points, 17 rebounds. This is the production we're asking from Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Wendell Carter is giving that for the Orlando Magic. This is why they won that game. He's been outplaying Jalen Durant. Jalen Durant, honestly, he's been a disappointment in the series. 3 of 10 from the field, 8 points, 9 rebounds. I know he had 5 blocks, but pedestrian scoring. This is a guy who might make an All-NBA team this year. Might be All-NBA second team or third team. He was an All-Star this year. But this shows and exploits one of the weaknesses we had of Detroit coming into the postseason. They don't have that secondary shot creator. When Cade is struggling, or they're going to, the scouting reports, they're going to double him, who's the other guy that can get me a bucket? It's supposed to be Durant. I mean, he's not a shot creator like that. He's not a three-point shooter. He can hit the occasional mini, but he's not going to be creating his own shot or offense for anybody. Ausar Thompson has 17 points, 7 to 10 from the field, 5 blocks. He was incredible defensively in this game. This is why he was in running for Defensive Player of the Year. If there was no Wemby in this league, he would get more love.
Absolutely.
That's how great defensively he is. When I saw him and his brother hit mid-range jumpers in their recent games, I said, whoa, wait, you guys shooting mid-range? Oh, I didn't, because they weren't attempting them before. If they could unlock that part of their game, both of those Thompson twins, to jumper, they could be superstars in this league because they already have the athleticism and the defense and the IQ. The jumper is what's going to unlock them. That's what the pre-scouting report was on them coming into the league. They can't shoot. So I want to see that more from him. But Cade was struggling efficiency-wise. He was 8 of 23 in this game, 3 of 10 from the field. Detroit hasn't really had a great game outside of game 2 when they had that 30-3 run.
With their back against the wall.
In that third quarter, the first 7 or 8 minutes, when they went on that insane run when they won that game. And then in that fourth quarter in game 3, they were down by double digits. They were able to get the game within striking distance, but Orlando executed well down the stretch, started knocking down threes. Paolo, I just love the way he was. When he's facing up, he's being more decisive. He had this crazy 3 where he kind of looked like he didn't want to take it, but then he bounced himself, adjusted his body, and hit it. I was like, man. And then Cade had some great shots too. And that game 2, I remember he did that sick little in and out hezzy on Paolo, crossed up, went to the rim. I said, oh, this is that. This is what I love to see. Like, this is playoff basketball. I was watching that game yesterday. I'm like, man, this is one of the most compelling series to watch.
Absolutely.
Coming into the series, I had Detroit winning in 6.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be a long series because Detroit, I was worried about their offense. Like, they don't have any elite offense in the wing or in the front court. The only elite offensive player is Cade. But, man, if Orlando wins this series, man, Detroit, they have to really look at themselves and say, okay, Ausar Thompson, if I'm you, I need to improve my jump shot to get to the next level offensively. And I'm looking to try to go get an elite offensive player in the offseason, whether it's trade, free agency. We need to get Cade some help. He can't do it all offensively.
100%.
When he's having an off game or anything like that, they're gonna double him. We need someone else who could beat somebody off the dribble that the defense has to worry about. So, yeah, this series has been incredible. Honestly, it's exceeded my expectations. I thought it was gonna be maybe an ugly series like we saw today with Game 4 with the Cavaliers and the Raptors. But man, yeah, and Orlando to me is a more talented team than Toronto. I think Paolo is when he's locked in, he's a monster. And he had the sick dunk on Durant. I was like, yeah, Paolo, that's showing. Yeah, now you're realizing you're 6'10", 250.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like, come on, man. We want to see more of that. I think he's been doing that way more throughout the series. I think the playoffs, he's a playoff riser. He has shown that throughout his career. He elevates his game in the playoffs. He be playing better in the postseason than he does in the regular season. So, yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Orlando. I think this series might save Jamal Mosley's job.
Yes.
Even if the way they've been competing. The way they've been competing and not going out sad, and just the heart they're playing with. I think this, for now, might alleviate that tension, that buildup that was going on during the play-in and stuff, and they looked horrible against Philly. And if they would have lost against Charlotte, he would have been fired.
Yeah.
He would have been fired right now. So them winning against Charlotte and the way they've been looking in the playoffs, especially against the number 1 seed, I think they're going to be like, okay, maybe we'll give him a chance next season. Because remember, a lot of their key guys are always hurt.
Yeah.
They're never really on court at the same time. Whether it's Banchero or Wagner or Suggs, they never really gotten to play together as much as a unit. So I think the way they've been playing now with all them healthy, and if they win this series, they play the winner of the Cavs or Raptors next series.
Conference finals, maybe.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Conference finals.
Especially if Banchero could up his efficiency more and they start shooting better from three. And I remember the Cavs kind of iffy to me.
Yeah,
I don't trust them.
Celtics. Hell no, I don't trust
the Celtics. So I wouldn't be shocked if they were to get past this Pistons team and upset the Cavs or Raptors, whoever comes out this series.
Right.
They're better than the Raptors to me. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked.
Now, man, I can say it, and you missed the quote, because one thing I love is the game within the game. You know, even though he has to after the game, when it came to the Pistons, he said, well, "We ain't scared of them," and he's showing that, and he's backing it up. I love that with the way Paolo was playing. Now, when it comes to like you mentioned with the Magic, they were a team that was honestly going into this playoffs were one of my most disappointing teams in the East. Like remember when they finished the season, remember they had the game, I think the last game of the season when they played the Celtics, who rested all their starters. Magic played all their guys and they lost. But remember in that matchup, if they had won that game, they could have avoided having to be in the play-in or could have avoided where they're slotted. They could have been a 7 seed instead of 8 seed. And they lost the game, so they were in the 8th spot and had to go to the play-in and all that as the 8th seed. But with the fact that like they came from that, from being a team that like going into the season I thought would be essentially a top 4 seed to being where they ended the regular season, being in the play-in, having to go through that hell, and then now being up 2-1 on a number 1 seed in the Pistons. It's incredible, bro. I'm very impressed. Jamal Mosley, absolutely, I feel like saved his job, at least potentially, as things stand right now. But if you're going to talk about how good the Magic are, you got to talk about also how bad the Pistons are. Jalen Duren, like you mentioned, bro, like, I got to see.
Like Evan Mobley. I need more.
I got to see.
You're going to be an all-star and
something, bro.
Our second best player.
And he's been a dude who's been more consistent offensively compared to an Evan Mobley. Anyway, especially this season. I'm thinking like, bro, where's first name 20, last name 10? I need that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think sometimes I ask myself, I'm watching the game, I'm like, this guy not realize he's like 260. The dude's a build. He's like,
he's a dog, bro. And we gotta
put your shoulder into Wendell and draw a foul or finish through him. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta take it personally. I'm thinking if Paulo's saying we ain't scared of them, I mean, if I'm Jim Durant, I'm thinking they're talking about me.
Taking that personally.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking talking about me. They think they can go at me in the paint. I already got dunked on by Paulo. You know what I'm saying? He said he ain't scared of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, if you're going to the game for, obviously this is a must-win game. You can't go down 3-1 going back to Detroit. Now as far as winning the series, I will stick with my original prediction, which was I had the Pistons in, I believe, 6. But man, it's at the point now where like, yo, either whoever wins the series, I agree with you, they're going to the conference finals. I don't trust them playing either the Cavs. I don't trust the Cavs or Raptors to really contend against either of the teams. However it go, with the bracket and everything.
That series is gonna be messy.
It's gonna be a very low field goal.
Detroit, Orlando versus whoever comes out Cavs. That's gonna be a messy series.
It is. Like I said, I still got Pistons, man, but the problems are still very much apparent. You gotta see how, like, okay, if you got the series, can you kind of survive in advance and learn from your mistakes? Whoever wins the series, really, because it's been a very dog series. But man, the Magic have been so impressive. Like I say, the fact that you kind of turned your season around within a season in a way that people didn't expect. Because like I say, I thought, man, Jamal Mosley might get fired, because I would not have been shocked if they had fell out the play-in and lost, things like that. He would have got fired right there. Now flip the script and potentially get a historic victory over a 1 seed, bro, and potentially make a conference finals run in a manner that we did not think would be possible with the way the season had gone. And a lot, like you mentioned, the injuries was a major factor. Also, Paolo wasn't the Paolo that we expected him to be this year, I felt like, or even Paolo he probably expected himself to be, whether you put it on him or also a bit of coaching as well. He wasn't the player. He hadn't really ascended the way I felt a lot of us expected him to. But the way he's looking right now, hey, bump all that. do it in the playoffs, be the 1 seed. Keep playing like you're playing, and hey, you make a lot of your doubt shut the hell up. A lot of people are trying to, doubt if Paolo could be that guy. And like right now, he's showing you what a number 1 option looks like. And you love to see it. Obviously, Desmond Bane has been, he's been number 1 at times as well. With the way Bane is playing, great number 2, sometimes number 1 option as well. When he can shoot that ball, he's a guy I love that they picked up at the time. At the time, last year, it struggled with shooting, and Bane can knock down some shots. So if he continue to do that, and you wonder, okay, where is the consistent offense outside of K going to come from? If you're the Pistons, the Magic could definitely make this a series, bro. And I would not be shocked if they win. Crazy that sounds.
No, definitely. And then, yeah, I think this series, I still have Detroit in 6.
Okay, same, yeah, we agree on that.
I don't know. If Magic win, I won't be shocked.
Yes, it go either way.
They're more talented. To me, honestly, the Magic are more talented. Even though I know they're the 8th seed, they're a more talented team than the Pistons.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, overall.
Yeah, they just need to learn how to put all the pieces together, and guys need to stay healthy.
Yeah, man.
Last series before we close it out, man. Spurs Blazers. Spurs take a 3-1 series lead after dominating the Blazers in the second half. Okay. First, before we get into it, Game 3, give a shout out to Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle. Without Wemby, concussion. I know Scoot had that big game in Game 2, the Scoot coming out party. He was talking ish to Dylan Harper, and Dylan Harper took it personally.
Yes.
He scored 27 points and had 10 rebounds.
He's gonna be a baller, bro.
I don't know how many rookies have ever done that in a playoff game in their first year.
Come on now.
He's only 20 years old. I tried to look it up earlier, but then that had crashed out on me. I tried to look it up earlier to see because I was curious, like how many rookies have ever had over 25 in a playoff game with 10 rebounds,
especially on the road, bro. Come on now.
In their first year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the only person I could really think of is like maybe Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
because LeBron didn't make it
right
in his first year.
Melo?
I don't know if Melo got the rebounds.
Oh yeah, true rebounds. Yeah.
Jordan missed the playoffs his first year.
Yeah.
And especially for a guard. I'm talking about guards. Obviously, big man can easily get the rebounds.
Yeah.
So like for guards, I'm just like, there's no, except for Magic, because he had that finals historic game, and then obviously, he was unstoppable.
Yeah.
I can't. There's nobody that comes to mind. I'm just like,
yeah.
Dylan Harper, man. Him and Castle became the youngest duo in NBA history to score 25 or more in a playoff game. Each of them both scored. They combined for 60 points. The only other duo, 21 or younger, to do that was KD and Westbrook with the Thunder. I think that was back in like 2010, 2011.
Yeah. Remember that, yeah.
And this team they did it without Wembayama. They were down by 15 in the Game 3 at the halftime, and they came back and won the game. If that doesn't show you the resilience of this team, the ability to compose under pressure on the road in a playoff game, and people always worried about the inexperience, they did it again today.
I was just about to say, they did it again. Down 17.
And they were down by 17 today.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm watching the game. Wemby was changing shots defensively. That I'm just like, even though the Blazers, they were still being aggressive, attacking the rim with him in there, coming back in this game. But they were struggling to finish at the rim, though. I was like, man, this is why he's such a defensive force and presence. But down by 17 going to half, excuse me. And then I'm like, okay, let's see how the Spurs respond in the second half. Bro, they go on, the first few minutes, they go on like a 10-0 run. I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. Get ready for the show, y'all. They outscored the Blazers 33-16 in the third quarter. And overall in the second half, 73-35. They completely shut down the Blazers' offense. They shut Denny down. They basically shut their whole offense down. Then he had 26, 8 of 14, but he had 5 turnovers. He was a -16 in this game.
Yeah.
Wembayama, especially in that second half, third quarter, and so you were starting to see Area 51 really just, he's throwing, Stephen kept throwing lobs, multiple lobs to Wemby. He had this one lob out of bounds. He gives the ball to Wemby. Wemby gets the ball. He doesn't even put it on the floor. He just still stretches up and yams it down. Moments later, I think the same play, he goes a lob. The Wemby dunks it. And then another play, another sequence, he throws the ball. Wemby reverse dunks it. I'm just like, that's a cheat code, bro. What are you going to do with that? And then on the other end, 7 blocks. Bro, I think he had like a few possessions. Within like 10 possessions, he had like 3 blocks in those possessions.
DPOY.
I'm like, and he did not start off well offensively. He was kind of struggling with his shot. 4-12. Yeah, he struggled offensively early on, but that second half, that's when he really started getting his offensive game going. Started getting the pick and roll game going with him and Castle. And then what really got them back into the game was the ball reversal, moving the ball. Champagny was hitting some 3-pointers. Devin Vassell hit a 3-pointer. De'Aaron Fox was getting his game was going today. 28 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks. He was efficient today for them. I love the way this is the Fox they need. This is the Fox they traded for. They need him to play like this if they want any shot to be OKC.
Mm.
They need this De'Aaron Fox that they got today in game 4. If he could play like this, they could be anybody.
Absolutely.
And Castle didn't even have the best offensive game today.
Yeah, he hurt his hands.
They play like this, they have a chance to beat anybody in the West for the foreseeable future.
Man,
this is what I want to see from the Spurs. And I just love the execution they had down the stretch. The fact that they didn't get rattled or get, you see a lot of young teams, the moment becomes too big for them.
Mm-hmm.
They kept their composure, their poise on the road. Back-to-back games, losing by, down by double digits. And I have a stat I saw on the moniker when I was watching the game. They're the first team in NBA history to trail by 15 or more points at halftime and win by 15 or more points in today's game. In NBA playoff history, the first team to trail by 15 or more at halftime and to end up winning by.
I wondered if that was so crazy how it went down that way, man.
It was basically they won by 21. They were down by 17.
Yeah,
38-point turnaround.
That's insane.
Insane, man. And I know honestly, I can't even question inexperience anymore. This is a team that came back from double digits back-to-back games on the road.
Mm-hmm.
They're a title contender. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Man, I was just gonna say, and now going back to game 3, going into game 3, obviously we saw the injury to Victor Wembanyama, and that's at that point I was wondering, is Wembanyama the injury in game 2, but going into game 3, I'm thinking, like, oh man, the Spurs could be in trouble, man. Like, what are they gonna do without Wemby? You know what I'm saying? It cannot when you mention young teams, like, okay, they're both young. Spurs and Blazers are both young teams. It's like, okay, who's gonna get rattled and who's gonna take advantage of the moment when it comes to, like, okay, Wemby's out. This is our opportunity. We got 2 days at home. We go up 3-1 potentially. Who knows how long Wemby's gonna be out? Obviously came back game 4. But my thing is, when they won game 3, it showed you to me 2 things. Blazers are not ready, and you cannot hold back the Spurs' so-called inexperience. That is not you. If they don't win a championship, it won't be because of inexperience. You've met that quota to me where, like, you can't say that anymore, because the fact that they had a position, they're in a position where, hey, without Wemby, you know what I'm saying, we got our young guards on the road. We were down. I think it's 15 game 3. I know game 4 was 17, but you were down in game 3. Obviously, tough on the road without your superstar, and you come back and win, and then you fall up and do it again with this time with Wemby. And I didn't expect him to play. I was surprised he even played. That was another great thing. I was glad he came back so soon from that concussion. Shout out to him for that. But man, to do it twice on the road, against a very talented Blazers team. This Blazers team has got something to me to build on, because the fact that you got, you can add Dame next year. That could be a very fun team. If you could add maybe another piece with Dame, that could be a very fun team to watch in the West next year. I'm very curious in this Blazers team. It potentially, how when you build it correctly, keep the pieces you have now, add some more pieces to Dame next year. It could be the best Blazers team that Dame Lillard has had in his Blazers career. You know what I'm saying? So I think with the Spurs have done, they show every bit of reason why you can't hold the so-called experience against them. And man, they got some dogs. I was very impressed with their performance. I mean, Wemby just on a whole other level, because the fact that he wasn't even, you could tell he wasn't even 100%, and he just made it look so easy with another star performance on both ends of the floor, 27 points, 7 blocks. It just, man,
he even start the game off well offensively.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
He was everywhere though.
So it just makes you think, like, man, I can't wait to see this. To me, what was going to be the presumptive Spurs Thunder Western Conference Final, because that's going to be a movie.
He's going to turn up for that. He has to turn up for that series.
I don't care who wins, but I need to go 7. Like I said, I hate to look ahead, because
whoever comes out that series is winning the chip.
Absolutely.
Boston is the biggest threat in the East, but ever since they got rid of Porzingis now and Drew Holiday, they're not as unbeatable to me as they were the last few years. They're kind of vulnerable, especially in the paint, especially when Kata gets in foul trouble. I've seen it. Vucevic, he can't guard out and slide his puppies on the perimeter and pick and roll coverage. He's not even knocking down his 3-pointers. I'm watching the games. This guy's like throwing bricks up. He's still coming back from injury, so I don't want to be too harsh on him. But he has not looked good in the games I've watched.
And then I have not. But for the Spurs, bro, with this, like I said, go back to lack of experience. To me, they're getting experience on the fly because
these 2 games definitely helped them.
It showed you everything you need to see as far as like can they prove it to you in the playoffs? Can they get it done? But can they handle that playoff adversity, especially on the road?
Yeah.
They've showed you that to me in spades. So like now, there's no reason to doubt them. It's got to be they just get outplayed. Maybe you can't say inexperienced or anything like that. Or obviously, God forbid, injury could happen as well. But outside of that, there's nothing really standing in the Spurs' way except themselves.
So I got to look it up. It finally worked. So Dylan Harper's is only the second guard ever to have 25 points and 10 rebounds in his first year, 21 or younger. The only other person to do that is Donovan Mitchell.
Mitchell?
The Jazz.
Oh, really?
It's not even Magic Johnson did it.
Oscar Robertson, maybe?
Yeah.
In a day?
Yeah. For guards?
Donovan
I'm
Mitchell.
looking at guards 21 or younger in their first year. Like, who legitimately are, like, guards.
Yeah.
Just guards. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, if you put guard forward, you could put Magic. But my filter to just guards, he's in there. And VJ Edgecombe's in there too. So Magic Johnson's in there.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Magic Johnson and VJ Edgecombe are there. Donovan Mitchell. That's the list. That's it for guards. Michael Jordan's not in there. Kobe's not in there. Who else is all time? Allen Iverson was too short.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd's not in there. Yeah.
A lot of legends not on that
Only
list.
Magic, Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe, and Donovan Mitchell.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Ron Harper, pack it up, buddy, because Dylan Harper's about to be the best player in the family.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This guy,
he still got the ring, though.
He looks a little bit Manu Ginobili-esque to me sometimes.
I see it. Yeah.
Finishes, athleticism. That dunk he had the other day, I forgot who it was on. Was it on Robert Williams? I don't remember exactly, but I was just like, yo, watch your head, man. Yeah. This guy has sneaky athleticism.
Hell yeah.
Rutgers, I didn't know I know he was athletic, but I didn't know he had that type of sneaky
I'm sorry, Rutgers. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. High school, I saw it sometimes when he was punching home on people, and then I like how he can finish with his weak hand. He can go right to it with his weak hand. That's what makes him hard to guard. That's what I love about this rookie class. Like, he could do it. I've seen Cooper Flag do it. Meet the Edgecombe.
Yep.
Yo, this 2025 class, I hope they continue to progress because the league needs it, and I think some of these guys are going to have some all-time great careers.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Getting better if they keep improving, So, and then you have this draft class coming in next year, 2026. I hope lives up to the hype because these type of 2 draft classes coming back to back replenishes the talent in the league, especially with LeBron, KD about to retire in the next couple of years, and Steph Curry, and they're slowing down. Well, LeBron, I was probably not even
slowing down, babe. Point, like
slowing down.
You got to retire at some point, right?
Yeah. So, it's just a great time if you're an NBA fan. Hopefully, my boy Anthony Edwards gets healthy.
Yes, man. Oh my goodness.
But right now, with the young talent in the league, Paulo and Cade going at it, 2 number 1 picks, back-to-back year, 2021, 22. And then Wemby doing his thing. I mean, it's insane, bro. I just love what I'm seeing. So, hopefully next year we got Cooper Flag in this.
I need that.
In playoffs.
See it,
bro.
See
the main event. See him do his thing. Hopefully they can get in that play-in area, make the playoffs, something. So, it's a great time to be an NBA fan. Great playoffs, and honestly, I'm loving the basketball we're seeing. So
same, yes, sir.
But Phil, it's been a great episode. Tell the people where they can find you, man.
Man, thank you for having me, bro. It's been a great episode, man. But check me out, Wilson Wade Sports Network, my blog site. Check me out, Wilson Wade Sports Talk on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram as well, PhilWill24. Find me wherever you can. You want to talk sports.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here on the show. Make sure you follow my guy, Phil. Make sure you support him. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. Share anybody you know. Leave a rating if you listen to audio platforms. And follow me on socials. DJ Sports Show on TikTok. You can follow me, DJ Hamilton23 on Instagram or on Twitter. And then, subscribe to the YouTube channel and things of that nature. So, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, DJ Sports Show. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.